Is Whatnot worth it in 2023? And going forward, that's what I'm going to talk about in this video today. Is it worth it for me and my business? And is it worth it for you if you're using it, if you started to use it, or if you're thinking about using it? First off, if you don't know, Whatnot is an online live auction app. Now, for years and years and years before they had this live auction app, I actually was doing live auctions in person in Utah. I loved it. It really was a great fit for me from the get-go. But it's an auction app where you can put your stuff live in front of people and they can bid it up. You get payment right away from the person. You don't have to wait for eBay for them to decide to pay you whenever, and then sometimes they never pay you. And then Whatnot will send you a payout. If you get to a certain level, actually, with Whatnot, you can do even instant payouts, which I think is 1,000 sales. So in this video, I'm not going to go into the weeds about how to get started selling on Whatnot and, how to work the app. I actually do have a video on that I filmed a little while ago. If you want to click here and get the basics of Whatnot, how to start it, how it works, click on this video. It's, I believe, helped a lot of people. I've gotten a lot of great feedback from it, so check that out. So I started selling on Whatnot, a lot of you guys know, about 16 months ago in October of 2021, and it's changed a lot. I actually was one of the first people to ever do a video game auction on there in the video game section, and that's not even really my niche. So I have been on Whatnot for a good long while. I'm almost at 12,000 sales on Whatnot, 11.9 thousand. We have almost 5,000 followers. So we've done pretty well on there. So I think I can speak with a little bit of a authority and knowledge on the subject of selling on Whatnot and if it's worth your while in 2023. Just to give you a little perspective on the 11.9 thousand sales on Whatnot in 16 months, in over 10 years on eBay, we have 16,000 sales over 10 years, and we've done pretty decently on eBay. So Whatnot is a game changer for volume, and that's going to be the first thing I'm going to talk about. If you didn't catch that, basically, really quickly, Whatnot is worth it in 2023. I'm going to go through some reasons why I believe it is and how I believe it can change the reselling game for you. If you really apply yourself with it, it's a lot of work. Number one, and it's a lot of work because you can move volume on Whatnot. I'll give you a little idea on what our basic Whatnot business model is right now. And I tell people what I'm doing. They follow us on social media. They know exactly what we're doing. It's fun. We go to the Goodwill bins a couple times a week, and almost everything we find, a majority of the stuff we find, we put directly through Whatnot, and we move it quick. Oftentimes we'll spend $50, $60, $70 at the Goodwill bins. Maybe twice a week we'll do a couple auctions, and we'll make $700 to $1,000 on 2 auctions, something like that, sometimes a little less, sometimes a little bit more. And we make all our money from the bins, and all of the, super, super high-end stuff we throw through eBay. So it's been a really good volume business model for us. We also do an occasional card auction where I run sometimes 100 plus lots. In the past, I've done that. But usually we're doing like 50 to 75 lots in any given auction. So it's worth it because you can move volume. But if you're moving volume, you need to be able to get it at the right price. This is key in business, guys. The bins prices are great. I'm sure if you go out garage selling, if you make connections with fellow resellers, you can also get stuff fairly inexpensively and move it in volume. So like I've said, we've been doing this for 16 months, and there was a lull in between there where I wasn't on Whatnot that much selling. And the main reason was I was overpaying for stuff and I wasn't getting enough stuff to run it through. If you guys follow any of the sports card breakers on Whatnot, they are literally going 24 hours a day, every day. I think there's a few that do 7 days a week. They get a mountain of product in. Obviously, that's a big amount of overhead and everything, but Whatnot can facilitate that. If you have the volume and you can get it at the price, you can keep pushing stuff out and pushing stuff out and pushing stuff out. We just weren't doing it at the right price point for a while, so we had to readjust and find stuff at a lower price point and start our auctions a little higher than we used to. I think in my last video, I talked about starting everything at $1. I've kind of changed from that since then. I start everything at $2 right now, and probably in the future, I may have some tiers where if we get certain types of stuff, maybe if I want to try some higher end stuff, we just start a little higher, still way under what it's worth and way under what somebody can get or resell it on eBay for, but enough so that we at least make a few dollars profit no matter what. So Whatnot is definitely worth it if you can push volume out. And there's several methods for you to do that. I talked about a couple ways we do it and other people do it. Number 2, that's huge for Whatnot in 2023 to make it worth it is use social media. Obviously with me, I mean, I have my YouTube channel, I have TikTok that has 870,000 followers. Instagram has a lot of followers. We have a bit of following, but really we didn't start kind of going up in the number of people we had in our auction until I started talking about it more on YouTube, which is one of my smaller accounts. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't even do social media yet, so let me implore you guys to start. I started in December of 2019. December of 2019. I'm going to leave the flubs in there, guys. December of 2019. It totally changed how I ran my business. I was a full-time reseller for almost 10 years at that point, and I had some decent-sized Facebook pages for our businesses, and we'd had some success on that, but I hadn't done any social media. And it's totally changed my life personally, but also it's allowed me to do some interesting things with the business, and I've really enjoyed it. So if you haven't started with a social media, go do TikTok, go do Instagram, go start a YouTube, and just start small. Start just telling people what you're finding and how much it may be worth, or telling people your story, whatever that is in reselling. You can build a following, and that can really help. And another way outside of social media to build a following on Whatnot, I'm going to talk about now. That second way to build a following on Whatnot is consistency. Consistency. I was talking with Flip the World TX, who has an awesome Whatnot show that you guys need to go check out. It's a lot of fun, and he is consistent with his days, and I'm starting to learn that. I have not been consistent overall for a lot of the 16 months I've done it, or at least I've been off and on. But people want to know what days you're going to be live. So if you're live like every Tuesday, once a week maybe, or 2 days a week, every Tuesday and Thursday, or maybe you're, on 5 days a week, whatever you want to do, be consistent, and you will build up your clientele. You will build up people who enjoy you and who also enjoy the kind of stuff you have and the deals they can get. Here's a little side note to go along with, being consistent. When you have an auction, it's very, very important, guys. Me and Flip the World were talking about this the other day, to be entertaining. And that doesn't mean that you have to be super, super loud or yell or anything. Just be yourself and enjoy being yourself and have fun with the auction. Enjoy having people live with you. That helps a lot. It creates a community, and a community is a huge thing on Whatnot. People who support you, who know that you're out there finding stuff that they enjoy and that they buy for either reselling or for themselves. Because a lot of these auctions are going to be heavy with people who are buying your stuff to flip. And that's totally awesome, because number one reason why it's worth it in 2023 is the volume you can move on Whatnot. And if you're willing to take a little less price than eBay, you can move that volume to resellers who will then take the time to sell that stuff individually. So you can help them, you can also help yourself. So just be as entertaining as you can be. Just relax, enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. I did theater for a lot of years, guys. A lot of years I did theater. And I used to always tell myself, nobody wants to see you fail out there. Everybody is rooting for you. And when you're doing a live auction, everybody's rooting for you. They want you to do well. They want you to be happy. They want you to have a good time. So try your best to do that. It takes a little practice, but I know you all can do it. I see a lot of opportunity with me and my fellow resellers out there, and people who even want to get into reselling with Whatnot, to totally change how they do their reselling business. I'm not sure if there's been an app or a service in the whole time I've been reselling that has this much potential. It's been eBay, and obviously Amazon is huge. But I mean, within the people who kind of sell secondhand stuff like eBay, Whatnot is a game changer. It's a lot of work. And I do want to emphasize this very, very strongly. Whatnot is a ton of work, okay? You guys need to prep the auction, right? You need to put a bunch of stuff out. Ideally, you want to put pictures up of every item so people can go in there and pre-bid. On Whatnot now, people can pre-bid before the auction. And a lot of times before you even run the item, it might be at $13. And then you already have that guaranteed $13 on an item that I start at $2, for example. So that is huge. The preparation to get that ready, then you got to run the auction, which is a lot of fun. But then afterwards, it's a ton of shipping. I'm lucky because Dawn, my girlfriend, as you guys know her, here, Lady Arbitrage, she does all the shipping. But that is a lot of work. We're planning starting next week on doing 3 auctions a week, which is meaning basically Dawn's going to be full-time, making her videos and doing Whatnot. I'm going to continue to do eBay and my videos, and that's kind of how we're going to do it, except I'm going to be the one, doing the actual, auction live. I really, really think Whatnot is worth investing your time in right now, guys. It reminds me a little bit of TikTok in 2019. If you guys don't know my story, I started TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and everything back in 2019, and I wasn't very successful on anything except TikTok. TikTok kind of blew up at that time. I was there at the right time doing content that people wanted to see, and my account really blew up, and that kind of precipitated into all my other accounts over time. And I am seeing that on Whatnot, guys. I am seeing some massive growth. Go in the sports card category. That's one of the most fascinating ones you can go look at. And you can go see people like Backyard Breaks and other breakers, over 100,000 followers already. 100,000 followers on an app where you can sell directly to them with auctions, right? Not just TikTok where I might do an ad occasionally or you can get some, bonus money from them. This is an app where you can directly sell to people. And I feel like a lot of people in the next couple years are going to blow up massively. There will be million follower Whatnot people out there. And there will be a lot of people, I think, in the resale space that will have, I think Harry Tornadoes is like over 20,000 and other people are in the tens of thousands. I think there'll be 100,000 plus resellers. And I don't think you necessarily need that. I'm not saying you need to go out there and hustle and be 100,000 follower reseller on Whatnot. But that means that there's desire and there's demand out there for what you're doing. You can get in there and start selling. And the people who go to Harry Tornadoes auctions that come to our auctions will also be interested if you're consistent and starting stuff at a good price and making it, really, really desirable for them. They'll want to go to your auction too. And I want you guys to be successful with that. So I really think it's time, if you guys have been on the fence, to try it. Just give it a shot. But I want to emphasize again that this is a lot of work and it is a grind. It's going to take a lot of effort and patience, probably more than anything. Patience to realize that it's going to take time to grow your auction. And one thing I've learned from being a live auctioneer for years before I was on Whatnot is every time you think you have the handle on something, things can totally change. Meaning, let's say you had a great auction. You're like, all my auctions from here on out are going to be amazing. The next one is going to be down. That just happened to us, and we're pretty well established. We had a really good auction, and then we had a lower auction. Still a lot of fun, but it just didn't do as well as our previous auctions. So you have to realize it's going to be up and down. Some auctions are going to be great. Some aren't going to be. But if you're consistent, I think it will level out. That's my guess. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it will level out. And I think it can be something that can really, really be great for a lot of resellers. Is it perfect for everybody? Probably not. Probably not. But I think a lot of people out there who haven't started or who are just starting can really, really maximize their reselling time and really just have a massive amount of sales using Whatnot. I hope you all found this video helpful. It was kind of off the cuff. I had a couple of thoughts. I didn't really plan or write any of this out, but I wanted to discuss it with you all because I'm pretty passionate about it, and I think it can help a lot of you. And at the very least, you can go and give it a try and see if it's worth it for you. But for me, I am really investing my time in 2023 on Whatnot, and I think it's going to be a good investment overall. Thank you guys so much. If you like these kind of videos and picking videos and thrift store videos and what sold videos, I don't do this often. I'm going to do this one time. Give me a sub and a follow. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys. Have a good one.